Yo, 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 what's good with it, Pack fam? It's your boy, Mr. Check My Resume. Here to bring you with my watch list for tomorrow, 0 day. If y'all was on the 0 day class, and y'all already know kind of what we're looking at. So I'm gonna keep it real brief, run through a few tickers, and let y'all be for the rest of the night so y'all can get ready and we can get cracking in the morning. First thing I want to pull up here is the VIX, VXX. So we're looking at a Chicago setup here on VXX, looking at potential 312 above $26.50. We see that large target there of 27.71. With the way that these earnings happen this evening, I would have a good feeling that this VIX is going to go up in the morning. Once these, these things kind of play out and fall and that type of thing. So my expectation is that we should have some pull down in the morning, which should drive this VIX back up. So look at that, be ready to take that entry first thing. That should be one we should be ready for right out the gate. Next one is UVXY, similar deal, kind of a different setup. Instead of the Chicago, we've got the Rev Strat here on the floor above $16.57. We also have a Rev Strat on the day here. It's been fighting with a BF, so it's trying to get over that. So the Rev Strats, it'll be above $17.11. I'll be eyeing that 4-hour Rev and really looking for that to keep going. Once we open up, and we'll be back in full-time continuity going up. So that was an easy call if we do get bearish activity tomorrow. Either one of those. Also, if you trade VIX, that is also an option. All right, what am I looking at? All right, okay. Next one now I want to move over to materials a little bit, talk about some materials. I know we got into this a little bit during the call today. With the first one I want to talk about is the African Americans, or Alcoa as we call it, AA. We are looking at Alcoa has bounced off a broadening formation here on the weekly level and is now pushing back up to go test the other side of its range. So we got we got one priority set up here on the day. So we're looking at this hammer, looking at a Rev Strat on the hammer above $71 flat. We do see these broadening formations here, so I want to see that breaking force. Or I won't take the trade. But we are looking at this one, all the way to like the 84 range, short term, probably go back to retest the $90 range with some time on it. So that's kind of overall what I'm looking at. But for tomorrow, just be mindful of the BFs on that Rev Strat entry. So that's kind of what concerned me with that one. But if we get strong sector movement with the rest of the tickers and stocks in that sector, that may not even be an issue. Next one I want to talk about is X. X has a very similar setup. We are 2 up on the 4-hour, but we have a Rev Strat setup potential on the day. Again, hammer day right at a BF, but not as many as AA. So it looks like if we clear this BF here and do a Rev Strat tomorrow at 32.53, we will be above that BF and pushing up to the next level here, this next channel. So that one looks a little bit cleaner in terms of the setup and entry. So X is another one considered out of these XME tickers. Materials are looking good. I'll touch on CLF just because if the others go, it may go similarly, but it is the weakest out of those as of right now. So I wouldn't look at this one as a leader in any respect, but if it does, the others kind of go off there, this one would be a sympathy that you could possibly get into. But the AA and the X would be the primaries for this sector right now. Based on what we're seeing on the charts. Next one I want to bring up is VALE, and VALE's a little intriguing because it doesn't have any setups for us to get in right now. However, I wanted to bring attention to it because of a couple things. We had already been anticipating this move back to the $23, $25 level. However, we did have this recent pull down from the $21 level that's now looks like it's found its bottom. So now we're going to push back up to retest. So I wanted to point that out because this is an opportunity I think is going to continue to run tomorrow, but there is no entry. So I just want to emphasize that you need to find an intraday reversal. Don't take entry on the 2 up on the day. Wait till you get an intraday reversal or some kind of TTO so you can get in at a good price. So don't just blindly jump in there just because we feel it's going to go up. But yeah, it looks good. Looks even better for next week's setup. But VALE is good. Next one here is not technically a material stock, it's more like a chemical stock, but the Dow Commons I did want to pull up and take a look at just because the setup looked good, as well as there is full continuity, full time frame continuity, except for on the day. And if the day opens up green, then we will have full time frame continuity on all time frames. So that one red day is not a big factor, not at the days close. So we have entry here on the 4 above $67.89. That would be the level that I'm looking at also. But if you missed that trigger, there's another one at $68.04. So you got 2 options, 2 areas where you can enter on the Dow Commons. Moving on, so no more of those. So now we're going to head over into staples. First thing I seen on staples that was busting, it actually was Kellogg's, K. However, Kellogg's does not have options that expire tomorrow, so we're going to keep it pushing. But Kellogg's look fire. We're going to take some longs on that one. KMB is the other. Looks very good. We had a little bit of a pull down in the afternoon, nothing major, but we're looking for an entry on the 4 above 142.32. That will take us back to full time frame continuity to the upside. We just continuing regularly scheduled programming. And I would look for a target around, what is this, 144.39 would be an area that I would have targeted for this. Or at least the first major target, and then there's a couple others till it gets to that BF level, but we'll see what happens. Don't get too ambitious. But yeah, this is good. KMB looks really good. Next one I want to talk about is KETCH Up, KHC, Kraft Heinz. Similar deal with this one because as its staples are looking pretty good. They just haven't taken off in the manner that we were expecting, but they're looking good. It's like the V-shaped recovery is happening on the micros and on the day. So what we got here on KHC, we saw the big TTO here on the week level. Now that we have recovered from that and we are off and running, we are pushing up here. So we got a 312 above, the 212 above 43.76. First target, obviously 43.89, but I would be looking at 44.27 as a level that you could possibly take some profits. Also 44.48, which was a high from last week. So you can look at that potentially. Not sure if it'll make it all the way to 45. So another one that I don't have on my list, but I did want to point out is Campbell Soup. Again, Campbell Soup is another one where it's continuation. It's already been running, so there were no setups available. So just wanted to point that out, that one is also running heavily. So just be mindful if you want to get in those that are already running, that have no setups, you're going to need to find intraday entries. Just find a TTO. Like we say, these things don't go straight up, they will pull back. So find a pullback, get in there. But yeah, staples looking strong for tomorrow. Next one, I want to go to utilities, and actually I'm going to look at the sector XLU. I didn't find any individuals in there that I really wanted to highlight, but I did like the way the sector looked. I'd say overall there's conflict, so not sure if it would be like anything that I was looking at from a primary standpoint, but I definitely want to be mindful of what's happening with XLU. That setup looks good as well, so we could be ready to go back and retest to the upside. Also, I don't have any tickers because we have alerted them already, but these energy stocks look primed to continue tomorrow. So there were no 0-day setups on energy stocks. I actually checked, but that's because you should already be in those plays already. The rev happened today. So at the latest today, what should have been your entry to get into those energy stocks, because yeah, we're going to go back and retest the top of this broad information here. This is 8150 level. So at least for tomorrow, though, the day traders will be able to we'll be able to take a nice size move on these energy stocks. And if it happens to gap up, we're prepared to manage that as well. So energy, that was just one we already know. So that you won't see any tickers on my list because none of those tickers have setups where we can enter tomorrow. The entries were today at the latest. So energy stocks were already in there. There won't be any on the list, but I'll make mention of it when I send it out. Right, got one more here. And that is going over into the healthcare region, and that is Pfizer, Mr. Pfizer. So with Pfizer, similar thing. I'm looking at inside candle, very strong inside candle, 212 above $50.74. That would give us a continuation on the day. We do have a broad information here about 51.18. So we need to be mindful of that. But with the way the premiums move on Pfizer and the short amount of move, that may be actually a pretty decent move on the contract. So that may be one you want to consider as well with Pfizer. Just a secondary play, like I mentioned, not something that we want to look at as a primary. Just gotta be mindful of that. And that will conclude my list for today. It's pretty short and sweet, not too many tickers. The market looks overall bearish. But again, we've got hedge plays that should be looked at on our primary thought process. Our primary thought process should be around those hedge plays. Also, the energy stocks that we should have gotten in today or before today, because I alerted a bunch last week as well. And then, and then staples. Staples is another, along with materials. Staples, materials, energy, hedges, that's all I would play to the upside. I wouldn't play anything else to the upside. Everything else would be puts. We are in puts in JPM financials as well as industrials with Caterpillar. So we're already taking some downside moves. So just seeing what opportunities reside on the upside. So anyway, with that, peoples, I'm gonna let y'all go. Watch list will be coming in just a few minutes. All right, peace.